Another condition that we see that affects the forefoot is a Morton's neuroma. Now this is quite a distinct symptom of pain, most commonly between the third and fourth toe on the sole of the foot, sometimes between the second and third toe. Now we're not entirely sure why this happens. It could be through just being particularly flat-footed or wearing a narrow shoe box, but it causes the metatarsals to get squashed together, and the interdigital nerves that run between the metatarsals can get rubbed upon or impinged, and in this third and fourth interspace, that nerve, when it gets impinged and rubbed upon, it can then thicken and you get this little swelling in the nerve, a Morton's neuroma. And it will typically be quite tender to touch on that underside of the foot, between the third and the fourth toes. It can send quite sharp shooting pain into the third and the fourth toe, and there might also be some pins and needles or numbness into that area. Now when we assess this area, we're picking up the story and the symptoms. That's going to give us a very strong clue whether you've got a Morton's neuroma. It's also tender to press up here when we're assessing you, and we can do a maneuver where we squash these metatarsal heads together, sometimes also whilst we're pressing up into that third and fourth interspace, and you'll get a click, and that's the neuroma just being pressed out in between the metatarsals, and it's quite painful, and that's clinically diagnostic of Morton's neuroma. Now we can also ultrasound scan in these areas, and we can see when we do this maneuver if the neuroma is moving out between the bones. We can also see if there's an associated bursitis with it. Now when we're thinking about treatment options, well, you can pop down and see our podiatrist or one of the physios here, and we can think about what we need to do to get this better for you. So the podiatrist might give you a metatarsal dome, which is just a little shoe insert which can lift up and spread those metatarsals and create a little bit more room for that nerve there. We might be also giving you some insoles just to correct that pronated foot type, stretching the calf, doing some foot intrinsic exercises. All of this might help just to calm that nerve down. It may respond quite nicely to paracetamol, ibuprofen, for example. However, if those things are not helping, then another treatment option that we've got is to do an ultrasound guided steroid injection into that area where the nerve's irritated, into the area where the bursa is irritated, and that oftentimes will significantly improve the symptoms as well. So if you've got these symptoms, you think you've got a Morton's neuroma, pop down and see one of the team at the clinic here, and we can get your symptoms under control.